Yo, yo. Hope we got you on mute right quick. Yo, yo.
What up, though? Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, I got you, brother, man. How you doing?
Man, I can't complain, man. It's Thursday and Drury, yo. Hurricane Helen is inflicting damage to Charlotte, North Carolina.
It's been hitting you guys pretty hard.
Man, just rain and kind of wind is out here, but it's just dark and gloomy.
Yeah, man. I will say that I'm glad I'm up in New York, and I don't say that too often, man. But yeah, we got a little bit of rain, pretty misty, but that's about it for real.
Oh yeah, yeah. So what the weather like up there right now? Is it kind of chilly or what?
Nah, it's probably like mid 60s. It's been the 60s, low high 50s, early 60s,
Oh
low
man,
60s. Yeah, none much, a little drizzle.
it's been super humid here in Charlotte, man, and hot, yo. Last Saturday it was every bit of 95 degrees.
Man,
So we're just trying to fall in the fall as usual, but it don't want to let us. I guess that's why Helen is here, yeah, to switch it up on us and get it a little
yeah.
cooler.
Yeah, hopefully on the backside of that, y'all get some autumn weather, right?
Man, I'm looking forward to it, yo. Fall is like my favorite season, bro.
Yeah, no, it definitely is mine too. I'm a November baby, man. So fall is big for me because I get to wear like the sweaters, the hoodies,
Yeah,
that kind of
man,
stuff, man.
layer up, man. That's what
Yeah,
it's about, yo. So I'm looking forward to that in the winter time, man. I'm a summer baby and hate to be hot if I ain't around no water. You know what I mean?
yeah,
If I ain't around the water, then I don't want to be hot.
yeah. No, I got you for sure, man. But yeah, but no, I guess, bro, what's going on, man? What's new? What's new?
Man, hey, we what 2-1 right now for them Eagles. We looking bad, but we be scraping by. So I'm feeling all right now. You know what I mean? We look bad, bro. I don't know how we're pulling out victories, but you know, we got Saquon now. He's showing us he's doing his thing, and I'm really pumped up about it. So like that's really what's keeping me going right now. But our defense is like pitiful right now. So just trying to stay in and keep it going and hopefully them Dallas Cowboys will lose tonight to the Giants, and that'll make my week so far.
Yeah, I say what, man. Y'all, every team is probably doing better than my team, bro. My Dolphins are we hurting right now, boy.
Yeah, I mean, Tua out 4 weeks. I know y'all sick right now.
Yeah, 4 weeks. Yeah, his career's kind of on the fringe or on the talks of what's going on. We
Yeah,
ain't really got solid backups that we have confidence in. Our defense has been straight though. I'm not mad
yeah,
about our defense, but we need somebody to get the ball downfield, man.
for sure.
That's
How many Tyreek have last week, as far as receiving yards?
I think he might have been under 60. Not a
Uh,
lot. Yeah, not a lot at all. I think he got a couple of deep passes, but that was no. I think he got like two decent passes, so nothing crazy, man.
yeah, I don't
Um, we,
remember. I don't remember the last game he had under 100.
yeah, it wasn't. He hasn't been doing a crazy amount, man. Recently, but yeah, I'll tell you, you gonna see a couple more games under 100 the way we had it right now. But I got the faith, man. But we got another big game tonight. We got Army
Yeah.
playing Temple tonight, and
Okay.
actually we in Philly playing Temple, yeah, in the stadium, yeah, in Lincoln,
Mm, that's what's up.
yeah.
So what's the Army's record?
We 3-0. About to be 4-0.
Oh,
We're gonna beat Temple. Temple's not great. We got UAB, I believe, next week, and then the week after that. No, we have two more games, and then we got who we have. We got Notre Dame in Yankee Stadium the
mm,
weekend before Thanksgiving.
word. So
Yeah.
did you play? You didn't play football for Army, did you?
No, I did.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, I got my bowl rings and everything right here, man. Good
Oh yeah,
luck.
that's right. That's right.
Mhm.
You in there?
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I'm hoping we're gonna win. They play at 7:30, so I know we probably gonna go to right around 8. So soon I'll probably miss the first quarter, but
Yeah,
that's about it, man. So I've been all in all day, man. Just excited, looking forward to it.
that's what's up. You still go to the games a lot or what?
So I watch them. So I'm right here. I live probably about 7-8 minutes from the stadium. I go to the tailgates before the
Yeah.
games, and I come back home and watch the game. But I have to. I mean, I plan to eventually get out there to a game.
Oh yeah, man. You got to. I mean, that's your alma mater, bro. You got to show
hmm
that love, man. You know what I mean? So
hmm
yeah, I mean, hey, it's about that voting time too, man. You registered to vote.
So I am registered, man. I really am. Um, yeah, I think I will say will encourage everybody to vote, right? regardless. And if not, like that's is the whole, I guess the whole purpose of it, man. Like that's what people fought for, right? People
Yeah,
died
man.
fought for us to have that right. So if we not vote, we kind of doing a disjustice, regardless of where your political views lie.
Exactly. Don't
Yeah,
talk about it. Be about it, man. Democracy is a beautiful thing.
yeah. Then I gotta be about it because I ain't even gonna lie to you. The last few elections, I ain't voting, so I got to be about it myself. So
Man, we got
yeah.
to get you registered, get you ready to vote,
No,
man.
I'm registered, bro. I went to the
Yeah,
DMV, make sure I'm registered. Everything's good, man. So I plan to
good.
vote this election unless something crazy happens that doesn't allow me to. But I
Well, it's
plan
already
to.
crazy. It's already a circus.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, man. We ain't gonna get into
This
all
is
that though. Yeah,
it's a circus.
we ain't gonna get into all that, man. We'll be here talking for
That's
a
not what
while.
we that's not what we're doing. We're not doing that.
But nah, man. But I guess, bro. So title, man. Title. Apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. Just kind of jumping into today, man. I guess. Tell me a little bit about that. What does that? What does that kind of mean to you?
I mean, to tell you the truth, I mean, we all have it because we all come from different backgrounds and origins, and we all have, our own type of habits and beliefs and values that, are kind of installed subconsciously in our mind, regardless of how we feel like we want to live our lives. It's just, you know, it's it's really your philosophy, right, on how you look at life and what you do with yourself, whether it's good or bad, whether it's, you're making good financial sense, bad financial sense, is really, just ingrained in you, right? So you have to kind of become aware of that if it's in a negative light and be able to dump those old habits and kind of install new ones to live the life you want to live. So, I'm a big advocate of, understanding your background, understanding why you are the way you are, and, how you can be better, right? Because we all want to be the best versions of ourselves. One of my favorite sayings is that, you never seen an oak tree grow halfway, right? So, I want to be the best version of Kevin, and I want my daughter to be the best version of herself as well. So, at the end of the day, it's just about unpacking those old habits, those old values. If it doesn't align with where you want to be right now or where you want to be in the future, and kind of dumping those and being able to install the new ones that kind of push you in a different direction away from, the life you don't want to live per se. So you just have to kind of be aware of where you are, what you want, and the things you want out of life. Your exit plan when you retire, what type of legacy you're living for your family. I look at my mom and my dad. My mom she's a retired nurse, so of course she preached go to school, get good grades, get a job, work for 30, 40 years, right? My dad was a high school dropout. Um, he fought in the Vietnam War. He was a gambler and he didn't have good money skills, right? So I had a mix of both of those. I didn't want to work a 40-hour week life, and I didn't want to have to be in the street gambling and doing street stuff. I mean, because, I had that part of my life. I did that. And, you wanted that fast money. But at the same time, that's not a way to live. That's not a way to live a legacy. So, I had to kind of dispose of those two type of, backgrounds and habits that I got from my parents because, there are no lifetime jobs for us right now. There is no pension. So, that job for life is kind of out the window. My mom is a nurse. She has that pension. She has her 401k. I mean, she pretty much makes more than what she did working her job. So, I mean, it kind of works for her, but she's in a different era. And the era that we're in now, we're not gonna get a social security. I mean, we're not gonna get a pension. So you gotta be aware of, how you want to live and the things you want to do in your exit, not just during the process. You know what I mean? Because most of us hate our jobs anyway. I mean, 80% of us hate our jobs they go to. So at the end of the day, I don't want to regret not taking a stab at, living the way I want to live for myself by dumping those old habits, those values, and adding new philosophies to the table. So it's just, I'm thankful to be able to think outside the box. A lot of us are on autopilot, just going with the motion and just, whether it's negative or positive, just going with it, right? And not even thinking, kind of like just like on autopilot. So I don't want to live my life like that. I want to be in a place where, I'm the captain of my fate and I'm gonna drop my ship where I want it to go.
Amen. Amen, man. I think that's powerful, bro, because when you look at like generational like patterns, man, a lot of times we are a product of where we came from. Believe it or not, like or regardless of what anybody says, your environment plays a crucial factor into the person that you are, the person that you become. Just kind of like you said, like regardless of where you come from, man. If you grow up in an environment where your parents are friends, I was looking at a statistic the other day. It said like if your parents were smokers, or both your parents were smokers, right? You growing up as a teenager, you are it's right around like 30 to 40% more likely to go out and become a smoker, which is
Exactly.
crazy when you think about, because you see that become, you start to think that that's normal, that's the norm, and then you start to associate those things as not necessarily a negative. Smoke is not great, but it's like, oh well, my parents did it, my grandma did it, my grandma's grandma did it, right? I'm gonna smoke as well too. And when you
Yeah.
attribute that to flipping that script, and you attribute that to like the environment you grow up in, if you see your parents spending money, that's how you're going to go. You see your parents going into debt, not necessarily know how to living paycheck to paycheck and things like that, you're going to attribute that as what I'm going to do. If you look around your environment, all you see is gangs, violence, shooting, killing. You're more likely to turn to the street, because that's what you see, right? And I was blessed. I didn't necessarily grow up in that kind of environment, man. But I guess I'm gonna turn that back on you, man. So I guess with some of the what are some generational patterns that I guess you had growing up and had to break, and what was that click in your mind to be like, all right, I need to make a shift here?
Man, I'll tell you, I mean, it was a lot of them, man. I mean, you look at anger, of course. You had uh, miscommunication, I would say, overreaction, not to mention financial, those type of habits as well. Being able to understand, how I want to live coming up, understanding financial terminology. I didn't get any of that. I mean, I had guys on, friends that were standing on the corner selling crack. You know what I mean? So like at the end of the day, is people don't stand on the corner as much now, but back in the day, I mean, I saw my guys. I mean, they were dropping out of school in 8th grade. You know what I mean? And that was kind of the norm from where I was from. So at the end of the day, I had to kind of dump those old habits because I mean, I grew up in the pool hall. I mean, my dad was a gambler, so like at the end of the day, I thought money was the fast way. Um, and I thought that was it, right? Because who wants to work 40 hours a week if you had to? But my mom was more on the conservative side, putting me, making sure I was in school, my grades were good. Um, and the other thing was, I mean, all we knew was sports, right? So you either played sports or, you went to college to get a job to work for 40 years. And it was like, after I tore my ACL my junior year, sports wasn't a real factor anymore. So I had to kind of think about my life and kind of where I wanted to take it. But even at that time, I didn't understand my subconscious and how, being from where I was from was playing a role in my life. You know what I mean? Subconsciously, it's going to lead you until you become aware of it and you kind of take control of, I don't want to live like this, right? So I got to dump these old files. It's almost like a computer and kind of go back to your default, right? You go back to your default and then you add those new updates. They kind of put you in a more advantageous direction to live the life you want to live and be the person you want to be. Because I mean, I didn't want to live my life in around angry and negativity and everybody just fighting and in an uproar every day. I mean, because that's kind of how it was, right? So I had to kind of dump those old habits and kind of install those new values of how I want my daughter to live and how I want my family to be. So, that's just for anyone out there, even with financially, with your finances. I mean, we were not taught cash flow and leverage. You know what I mean? I mean, coming from a black household, most of the time, all you knew was to basically, go to school, go get a job and work for somebody. And if you couldn't do that, I mean, sell dope, um, steal, rob people. I mean, you kind of get, when people get desperate, that's kind of, what happens in those areas. I mean, because it's a desperate, day to day type of living. And, you wondering what you're going to eat that day. So people that are in that type of state will, they'll do anything to live that day. And, being able to be from there kind of taught me a lesson that whereas, you got to go hard, but you got to go hard in certain aspect, whatever you go through. I mean, like, real estate was an outlet for us. So it put us in a position where we had to continually learn about real estate and kind of dump the old way of selling drugs or just, working a job 40 hours a week. We had to try to do things a little bit different. So having those philosophies and those habits I mean, it makes a big difference in someone's life, especially if you're on autopilot, right? Because if you're on autopilot, I mean, you're not thinking about it. You're just going with the flow. I mean, you're doing what everybody else is doing. You're more like a robot, right? So it's almost like a battery in the Matrix. I mean, the Matrix is one of my favorite movies, right? And see, Neo was a battery until he came into the real world. And so once he got in the real world, he kind of saw it for what it was and had to leave the old world behind. You know what I mean? Because the old world wasn't fulfilling for him. So at the end of the day, if your life is not fulfilling for you, you may need to think about your old habits, your old philosophies, your old values, be able to become aware of those, dump those, and be able to install new upgrades. So
Yeah. Nah, man. I think that's key, man. That's so crucial too, because you got like you really only got a few options, man. Like life is either going to teach you the hard way, or you can try to make a change yourself and say, I'm going to break out of the system, right? And unfortunately,
yeah,
for a large populace, right, they learn the hard way. Whether it is, I tried to go, the hard route, right? Try to do whatever, whether it was selling drugs, working a 9 to 5, whatever it was, right? And they learn the hard way. Whether they're hitting the face with life, right, hitting the face with adversity, whether that's prison, whether that's getting in trouble, whether that's you putting all your money in on athletics. Get to high school, you're not really taking grades serious. You're putting all your money in the basket of athletics, and then you tear your ACL your senior year, or you can't get into any schools because your grades suck, and the JUCO route ain't gonna work for you, right? Because I tell you what, man, like even for me, like I did go D1. I was blessed enough to play D1 football, but I was never, when I was in high school, I was never the greatest athlete on the field. But what I did was I just worked harder than everybody else, because you
yeah,
can have talent, but I work hard in the classroom. And that encompasses things outside the classroom. And it does not just encompass you going hard on the field, being the best athlete. How are you in the community, right? Does your coach like you? Do your teammates like you? Are you a leader? What other habits or leadership qualities do you exhibit? In the classroom, are you a leader? Are you making good grades? Are you on those honors courses, right? Or are you kind of slacking off, BSing your way through it, and just focusing on football? Because if it don't work out and you ain't got no options, then a lot of times those people, we all know people who, just speaking bluntly, we all know people who graduated high school and still ain't really graduated high school. They're still in the same community. They're still living with the fam, right? And that's okay, right? But here's the thing: is you have to kind of shift that mindset. And I think the mindset piece is so crucial, because a lot of times you see there's a lot of diamonds in the rough, right? I think some of the best leaders, some of the best people, and some of the best entrepreneurs, they come from the most underserved areas, because it's kind of like they get their back against the wall, you know what I mean? And it's time to grind. It's time to put the pen to the paper and make some action happen. And it is really just a mindset shift, right? My favorite rapper is J. Cole. One of the things that J. Cole says is the only thing worse than death is a regret-filled coffin. So really, and I
exactly.
posted a video about this today, man. Like the worst, or yesterday, man, true hell is getting to the end of your life, right? True hell is getting to the end of your life, and God showing you the person that you could have been had you taken
That's it,
action.
man.
That is
That's it.
something that drives me crazy, and that's something that scares me or lights a fire, man, because when I die and I go to heaven, that's it. Like you get one life. And when you look back at that life, you have to ask yourself, man, did I really live that best life? David Goggins said something similar. He said, when you get to the end of life and God shows you that person that you could have been, is that person going to be unfamiliar? Or are you going to know that person clearly? And I'm like, damn, like,
Yeah, that's tough. That's hard right there.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
man.
but at the end of the day, though, man. I mean, you hit it right on the head. I mean, it's like Jim Rome is one of my favorite motivational speakers, and he says, do you want the I guess the pain of discipline or the pain of regret, right?
Yeah,
Discipline weighs ounces and regret weighs tons, right? And so, like at the end of the day, man, I don't want to live regretting. You have to you have to be bold. You know what I mean? You have to be bold in making your decisions and knowing exactly what you want and and going after it, right? I mean, so I have I have a special way I want to live my life. I don't want to just make a living. So at the end of the day, I have to kind of push towards that. Everything I do has to be lining up with the end goal, right? And so a lot of us don't even have an end goal. We just thinking, hey, we just go through the motions and we can retire our 401k and
yeah,
we'll be fine. You know what I mean? But then you see an 80-year-old welcoming you in Walmart, and you're wondering why is this grown old senior citizen working the door at Walmart? It's because he didn't take his retirement or her retirement serious. And so, the 401k or whatever he's getting is not sufficient enough for him to pay his bills and his way of living. So
Yeah.
you have to put yourself in that position and kind of start from the beginning, kind of reverse engineer it. So I kind of
Yeah.
learned from that piece, being able to, be in a position where I want to live the way I want to live and do the things I want to do. So I know I can't get that by being in the street or, just working one job for the rest of my life. It's not going to happen like that.
Yeah. And to kind of, man, just to kind of talk that too, man, like I guess some action steps, man. When I think for me, some of the things that have worked for me, action step wise, is that I have just got serious about like life. You know what I mean? Don't take it for
Mhm.
granted. The fact that you woke up in the morning, that's a blessing. People that see me or people that know me know that I'm a very high energy person. I'm always the most
Yeah.
positive person in the room. I know it can probably get annoying sometimes, but that's just like life is truly a blessing. And I think that truly believe that everybody has a dream. Everybody has a dream, no matter how small it is. We all have that voice. And if we just shut up and listen, right? Just turn off all the noise, put your phone down, limit the distractions, and just listen to that voice. Everybody has a voice, no matter how small it is, that is begging them to take action on their goal, their dream, and is there for a reason. God instilled that into you. And I think people have to take ownership of that, right? Listen to that voice and start to take a little bit of action. I don't care if it's, you want to be a writer. Start off by writing a sentence. You ain't even got it. You don't even know how to, you may not even know how to write or know how to even, spell for that matter, right? Right. Write a little sentence. Go on YouTube. YouTube is 100% free. You can learn millions and millions of things on YouTube. There are literally, just to make you guys kind of feel kind of bad, it kind of makes me feel bad as well too. There are literally little kids on YouTube getting paid millions of dollars to review toys.
Pretty
Crazy,
much.
crazy thought, like crazy things, right? So I think the biggest thing is one, getting serious about it, getting real, and starting to take a little bit of action towards you want. Number two, I would say a vision board is very, very important. You can see I got mine right behind me. I made this probably about 4 years ago. And a lot of these things on here have already started to become accomplished. Why? Because I keep it around me. It's the background on my home screen. I got a copy of it at work. I see it wherever I go, right? And subconsciously, my mind starts to put me closer to that because that's what I see. That's what I visualize. And that's what I believe.
Right.
But yeah, you got anything to add to that, bro?
Man, I mean, dog, people get so caught up with being safe. You know what I mean? Like trying to live a safe life, not make mistakes. I think, our school system kind of ruined us when, when we were younger and, because taking tests, you had to be perfect. You had to get 100, right? And if you didn't get 100, you made mistakes. You were looked down upon, right? But in life, only way to grow is to make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? So many of us live in that comfort level where, we hate our job, but we'll keep going to it because we don't have nothing else, right? And so if they're not willing to get out there and take that risk and try to change, step outside the box, they'll always be where they are. And so like, just living on autopilot, it kind of just burns me up, you know what I mean? When people complain about their jobs, but also, get to a place where they don't want to move and they just want to be safe and secure. And, there is no safe and secure life, to be honest with you. So why not take a risk?
100%, man. No risk, no reward. No risk, no reward. I think everybody wants that. What's it called? Everybody wants that $1 million lifestyle. They want to eat at Ruth Chris, full with a child, a Brazilian steakhouse, but
Right,
their work
right.
habit is equivalent of a McDonald's dollar menu. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
So you
they're
got the
bringing no
dream.
value to the table. They're bringing no
Exactly.
value to the table. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And I think too, man, it's I guess a part of really taking action and taking a shift in that mindset is one, getting rid of the people you hang around are so important. If you hang
Oh
around
yeah.
people who ain't doing nothing, then you really are not going to do much. What, birds of a feather flock together, right? So
That's
and
it.
that goes in line with your, with your inputs and your outputs. So if you're constantly hanging around people and they all doing the same thing, there's really no growth in that. It doesn't matter
Amen.
how long you guys have been friends. It doesn't matter, if those are the people you hang around your whole life. You need to get around people who have similar goals and similar dreams to you, because your mind can only hold but so much. Your mind can
That's
only
it.
hold but so much. So if you're just with your boys, you drinking, you going out every weekend, you partying, this, that, and the third, you're not going to get any closer to your dreams. So shifting that mindset, getting around a mentor, which is actually a lot easier than what a lot of people may think, right? Because people ask, like, hey, how do I get a mentor? How do I find a mentor? Is literally one, writing down, I'd say probably write down your top 5 values. What are your top 5 values? What are the top 5 values that you want to have or want to live by? If you don't know what they are, write those down. Think about the field that you want to go in, whether that is real estate, whether it's stocks, whether it's e-commerce, whatever that is. Think about that field, write that field down. Now look within your community or even outside the community, because I guarantee you do have some of those people within your community. Look within your community, look at those role models and ask yourself, do they have those same values as me? Okay. Are they in that field as me? Okay, yes. You need to get around that person and add value. You can't just go around somebody and be like, hey, I want you to mentor me. Can you mentor me? What do you bring to the table of value? You got to get around them. Hey, can I help you out? Hey, can I clean your office? Hey, can I just ride with you? Or, hey, can I bring you, this deal or whatever it is? Look to bring value to somebody, right? To what you can bring to the table a little bit. And then you'll start to learn like true mentorship, what true mentorship really looks like.
Man, hey, and that's the truth too, man. I mean, because like you got to think about that. Think about what you just said, bringing that value, right? A lot of us never learned about value, along with cash flow and leverage. I mean, we never even learned what value is besides what's on the value meal,
Yeah.
and going to get a number 6 or number 10 or whatever it is, right? So that's the value I know, right? Going to the mall and finding something on sale, getting value, but never learn that yourself. You bring value to the table yourself, and
Yeah.
if you don't understand value, then you're always going to be working for someone else and being able to making someone else rich. So understanding your own value for one, and then whatever it is value you bring to the table. And when I say that to people, I mean it's tough to kind of explain value sometimes, right? And I had to go back to when I was working at Taco Bell back in the day.
There you go.
And I was making like $8 an hour, and it was like, well, they're only asking me to take orders and make tacos. So I mean, it don't take a genius to understand that, right? So I wasn't bringing much value to the table. I wasn't even opening up and closing. You know what I'm saying? So
You was probably taking crunch wraps under the table too.
what I was eating like a mug every night. I was taking Taco Bell for the hood. Hey, everybody got tacos. They didn't mind us letting us have food at night. So, like, I was working clothes a lot, bro. But I wasn't bringing no value to the market. You feel me?
Yeah.
And so, if you don't understand how to bring value to the market, I mean, now that I know what value is, I know doing multi-family. I mean, I'm in acquisitions. I bring deals to the table to my syndication team, right? So I bring the value to the table. It's no different than Draymond Green setting a screen or getting 20 rebounds in a game, right? He's bringing his value. Yeah, he's not scoring 30, but at the end of the day, he's getting rebounds. He's playing D. He's doing the things on both sides of the floor to make the game better for Steph
Yep.
and Clay when he was there, right? So that's his value, and people got to understand that value is major when you're talking about scaling your life and living a wealthy life. You just got to be able to know what your value is and what you bring to the table.
Yeah, 100%. Hey, man, I'm gonna add to that as well too, man. I went ahead. I looked to my right. I always have this book on my desk. So if you're confused or want to learn what value like looks like, one, how do you identify your own value, or how do you learn to give value to others? Is 100% read this book. It's called The Go Giver by my boy. It's going here by Bob Berg. One of the best books that I've ever read in my life, and I'll probably read it at least once a year. Usually twice a year, I go back and read it, getting back to the basics. And what that big book talks about is literally you giving outside of giving without the intent of trying to receive, right? So it starts with going out of your way to help people, going out of your way, one, voicing the things that you like or you're passionate about, but going out of the way to add value to other people. So if I see, I don't know, just kind of making something up, you see somebody struggling, trying to pick something up and put it in their car, go by and help them pick it up to put it in their car. You never know. That person could literally be a millionaire. That person could literally be somebody that can completely change your life. So if you go out of the way just to be nice to people, just to do things that you wouldn't normally do because you're not getting anything for reward out of it, good things tend to happen. The universe tends to reward people who are kind and people who are consistent. So if you're not consistent right now, you better start getting kind. And that book talks about it, man. I'm trying to tell you, this book has changed my life. The Go Giver by Bob Berg. Check it out for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely have to check that out, man. I mean, we've been teaching real estate since 2018 out of the church for free, right? I
Yeah.
mean, there's so many folks out here, want to charge and hit people over the head for it, but we've been giving it away for free since 2018, and it's like, man, I'm so fulfilled when I can help someone else and help change their trajectory in their life, their legacy, and their family, right? Because just you never know what giving the information to someone may do for them, right? And so being able to, I guess, mentor some of the kids at our church, I got one that's 18, I got one that's 21. I mean, young guys just trying to figure it out, right? And just being able to kind of take them under my wing and kind of show them, the ins and outs of the financial system, and being able to create an LLC and how you kind of generate income with that LLC through real estate is like, that's so fulfilling to me, yo. So like, I just feel like the more people I can help, the better I'll be. You know what I mean? So the more you pull up, you always got to be in a constant state of pulling people up, because if you're pulling people up, somebody's pulling you up. And so I kind of live by that, because like I said, we're going from residential to commercial, and it's not an easy feat, right? I mean, we're used to bringing maybe 70, 80,000 to a deal. Now we're bringing 15, 20 million to a deal, and it's a different ball game. So we have to have someone to pull us up, just like we're pulling someone up in the residential, right? That just doesn't know anything and doesn't know about cash flow and leverage. So it's just a constant state of pulling up and going up, right? So the more you pull up, the more you go up.
Amen. Hey, they say God loves a cheerful giver, man.
Every day of the week.
Every day of the week, man. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. But man, I'm just thankful to, like I said, to meet up with someone quality like yourself, man, and to be able to give this to the people, man, because the more we can connect with ourselves and be able to build amongst each other, the better we'll be. I mean, to be honest, every other race does it, but us, you know what I'm saying? And you hate to say that, you know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with that, right? I mean, because if you can help someone else, help them. But see, we grow up as individuals, and so we have an individual mindset, whereas you can only go so far playing hero ball. I mean, Kobe said it best about James Harden a long time ago, and I told you that already. You can't grow playing hero ball. You know what I mean? You got to have someone on the left and the right of you to be able to help you to scale the way you want to live and to have that freedom you want. So, I mean, everybody doesn't want to live like that. I mean, they may want it, and, they might see the glamour and the glitz or whatever, but they're not willing to go through the process. But you got to have that mentorship. You got to have someone with you to kind of help walk you and kind of watch your back at the same time, man. So the more you do for others, the more somebody's going to do for you.
Yeah. Yeah. And now don't just do something to do something too, man. Go out of your way, give 100% when you are doing something for somebody. I'm gonna be real, just don't half-ass it. You know what I mean? So if you're willingly going to go out there and teach somebody everything if you can. If that's what that level, that's where, if they're at a certain level, obviously teach to that level, man. But you want to elevate them to the level that you're at, or even surpassing you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and I would say, man, shoot with that. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, so being in the groups that we're in, I mean, putting yourself around like-minded individuals is key, right? So like, not everybody's going to want to do what you want to do or want to live the life you want to live. But see, if you can get around those people who do want to live that way and are okay with being around other like-minded individuals, that's what you want to be around. Because I mean, you think about Pace Morby. I mean, it's just being around quality people, right? If you want to do creative finance and seller finance, subject to mortgages, I mean, you can do that at Pace's group. I mean, and you can get the deals done. I mean, it's wide open there. I mean, I'm in a couple other groups that I'm looking at. Kent Clothier. I mean, I don't know if you ever heard of Kent Clothier, but
yeah,
Kent Clothier is, it's just another group where you can be around real estate investors to kind of scale your game and connect with quality people and grow your business. So, I mean, you have to continue to put yourself around those people and, mentors, and being able to mentor other folks. And, it's just it's almost like a joyous occasion, but, everybody's not looking at, what you're putting in your pocket, because everybody's already doing their own thing. And I think that just makes a ton of sense. If you're looking to do certain things in your life, you're looking for freedom, you're looking to, be wealthy and leave a legacy. You want to put yourself around, immerse yourself around the people that's doing what you want to do.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that it starts with starting off with the basics. So going out there and helping somebody, getting serious about what the things that you want to do, getting serious about it, writing it down, starting to surround yourself with people who are on that same track or putting themselves on that same trajectory. And I mean, really with that, and I think a lot of that starts with voicing the things that you want to do. Closed mouths don't get fed. So if you're not speaking up about the things that you want to do, there's no way. You're literally just letting opportunities pass you by. Because how is somebody going to know the things that you want to achieve if you're not voicing it? And I'm giving myself that advice, man, because I'll tell you what, my life completely changed in just these last man, these last few months when I started actually posting on social media, letting people know what I wanted to do. And I guess the biggest thing I was afraid of was not necessarily fear of, being judged or anything like that. And when I look back and really reflect on it, man, it was fear of like, man, now that I said I'm going to do this to the world, now I actually got to go do it now, or people going to be looking at me and being like, all right, Rich says he's going to do this. You say you're going to be a real estate investor, but I don't see him doing nothing in real estate. So I put that pressure, ignited that flame, if you will. And life started changing, man. I started getting around good people who are, thinking about getting into real estate, started reaching out. I started being able to help out, newer wholesalers, teaching them how to do certain things, teaching them how to, comp deals, teaching them how to analyze deals, teaching them how to talk to sellers, doing things like that. And I'm doing this just because, I love to help people. I love to serve. And what it's done for me is, in turn, good things started happening. So those same wholesalers, I'm the first person that they're coming to whenever they have creative deals. So anytime they have, seller finance or sub-2 deals, I'm one of the first people that they're reaching out to. Right. And that's a blessing. So me being able to try to fill somebody else's cup, their cup's overflowing. Right now, they're trying to fill my cup as well, too.
That's what it's about, man. I mean, constantly being there for someone else. That means, you're always going to find that lamb in the thicket. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's always going to be there for you. So no matter what you do, you just keep helping and keep pulling other folks up. And the more you do, I mean, it just seems to always come back to you, and that's kind of what I've always seen, is that the more I can connect with other folks and help pull them up and give them what they need, I mean, I'm always getting what I need. So, I mean, God has a funny way of making that happen for you. And I don't worry about it no more. You know what I mean? I just let them do it. So I constantly help other folks, and, I stay on the phone, connecting people with my resources, and, whatever I can do for them to help them scale up. That's what I want to do.
Yeah. Shoot, you get out what you put in, man. And shoot, man, I'm about in. I really ain't got too much to say, man, but I want to leave. I do have some book recommendations that I jotted down while we've been on here that I want to go over for some folks. Did you want to have anything you wanted to close with before I jump into that?
I mean, man, just understanding exactly what the end goal is for anyone that's listening out there. It's just, understanding what you want in the end game, what your exit is going to be. And I know it's tough to think about, if when you're 60 or 65 years old and what you want to be, but, you can still, mentally already be there. You know what I mean? So if you understand how to work backwards and kind of reverse engineer it, it makes the game a whole lot easier. I mean, because the goal of the money game is to not work if you don't want to. Right. I mean, that's the whole point why we went to college and why we go to work every day, is to be able to, someday not have to work if we don't want to. So why not speed that up if you can?
Bro.
and get there a little bit faster. So, I just want to say, for all those folks out there watching, just, continue to put yourself in the right environments, understand what your values and your habits are, regarding finances, regarding your family and your friends, whatever it is. I mean, if it's not the way you want to live, then you got to think about subconsciously, I got to be able to go back to my default settings and remove those old files, right? And so if I can go back to my default, then I can install new updates to be able to grow and scale the way I want to. So just keep focusing and stay humble and connect with all the quality people you can.
Man. Hey, bro, if I could snap it up for you, I would, bro. That's solid. That's some soulful stuff. That's poetic, bro. That's poetic, man.
Appreciate you, bro. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, man. And as far as books, man, some of the things like mindset wise, I think one of the books that I think about, and one of the first ones I read once I started getting serious about like this journey, probably right before my senior year of college, is The Millionaire Next Door. And that is by Thomas. Powerful book, man. It teaches you how, one, it shows you what a real life millionaire is, like a true millionaire, what most millionaires look like in this country. And I promise you, they look like the average person. You wouldn't even be able to tell. Some of you have people in your neighborhood who are millionaires. You wouldn't even know it. One, because they're not, going around flashy cars, things like that. They were smart about their money. So this puts you in a millionaire mindset. It teaches how you can become a millionaire with tangible action steps that every day people can take charge of themselves. And it was just a mind shift for me, really, because when I thought millionaire, I literally thought somebody with the Gucci, the Prada, the Louis, the polo down to the socks. Man, they had a nice fat car, the Lexus, the Cadillac, all the flashy stuff that what we usually attribute to success or attribute to money. And it just shows you that's not necessarily the case. You can live the life that you want to have. You don't have to have the biggest house. You don't have to have all the cars. It just teaches you what modern day millionaires look like. And it's a great book. You read that one?
Yeah, man. Oh yeah, Millionaire Next Door was powerful for me. I mean, because I came, I was actually a realtor coming through the recession, right? And so, millionaires that are basically millionaires based on their primary residence or their job. That's what, that's how I used to think about millionaires, right? I used to think, you get a nice job and you got a wealthy salary and you have this big house and, that equity, you're going to be a millionaire that way, right? But during the recession, home values tumbled and they went down tremendously, right? So I learned the difference between a millionaire that's working a job that's based on income, working income, versus a millionaire based on their assets, right? So that's one thing that the Millionaire Next Door taught me was the difference of a millionaire based on someone's job and a millionaire based on assets. And so I want to be the millionaire with the assets versus the millionaire with the wealthy income coming from a salary job, right? Because one of the biggest differences is taxes. I mean, you think about taxes, even if you're making $1 million a year, you're getting taxed, 50% of it. So you're really bringing home like 500,000. And so at the end of the day, I mean, we teach people now about cash flow and leverage and how to decrease their tax liability through multifamily investing. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, The Millionaire Next Door was just a powerful book, man. I was thankful to read it. And it was one of those ones that kind of stuck out because I remember the recession and I remember how people were losing their jobs and, the values of homes were going down, right? So you're not a real millionaire unless you are living off your assets, right? And so, one of the sayings I heard, I think Jim Rome said it, is he says, just because you win the lottery doesn't mean you're a millionaire, right? And so like that sticks out to me because like, people that hit the lottery for millions, like 90% of them are broke in 2 or 3 years
Yeah.
because just because, you get a check for millions of dollars don't mean you're a millionaire. And so that stuck out for me. So, The Millionaire Next Door was just a powerful book, man. So I commend you for bringing it on the podcast today.
Hey, bro. I got one more too, man. One more book that I think was powerful as well too. I don't know, have you ever read Atomic Habits?
Yes.
That's the other one, bro. Talking about building small, consistent habits, man, and how they
Yeah,
start
bro.
to compound, man. So if you, for instance, like say you want to start working out, most people think about the folks, man, as soon as they hit January 1st, New Year's resolution, I'm gonna go to the gym every day. But if
That's
people
it.
in the gym packed out, I'm pissed off because everybody's in the gym. And come January 10th, it's back to normal. It's a little bit less, and then by the end of the month, early February, back to normal. It's not
That's
because
it.
they didn't have that intent, but it's because they went all in, and you only can go all in for some. You can't just start. You can't go from never running before, being fat, eating potato chips on the couch to go run a marathon, because you probably going, driving yourself crazy, man. So it just talks about starting small, man. So if you want to, and another book with that would be the compound effect, but it's starting to start small. So if you want to get consistent in running, you don't just go run. You start off by walking, right? And then you don't have to go walk 7 miles. I'm going to walk 5 minutes, or I'm going to walk down the street. Do that for about a week or two, right? Get used to it. All right. Now I'm going to, walk a little bit further, get used to it for, a few days. Now I'm going to jog for as far as I can until I get tired and then start walking.
That's it.
And as you start to get consistent and it starts to build, man, it's like that snowball going down the hill. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And let you know you consistent as all get out, man. But Atomic Habits and the Compound Effect, 2 good books that talk about habit building.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's the microwave society we live in, right?
Yeah.
We want the glory and no process. And so, we don't want to go through, the small changes you have to go through and changing your habits. But again, if you want to live the life you want to live, you have to be aware of that, and you have to become aware of it and kind of do things differently. You can't do the same thing every time. That's kind of, that's lunacy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just can't do that. So you have to be able to understand what habits you currently have and the habits that you need to live the way you want to live. So I mean, Atomic Habits, man, was powerful for me. Um, man, I mean, like I said, I wasn't a big reader when I was younger. You know, I was an athlete, so I mean, I didn't like to read like that. But now, I mean, when I had my corporate job from 2012 to 2016, all I did was, you know, with 2018, I just listened to ebooks every day.
Yeah.
And so even from YouTube, I mean, the free
Mhm.
books on YouTube, right?
Yeah,
I
a
mean,
whole bunch of free books on YouTube. I'm glad you said that. That's secret sauce, man. Whatever book you want, a lot of times it's on YouTube and the recordings on YouTube, man, for free. So you ain't even got to spend the money.
what? Man, so like I'm telling you, bro, I probably got a PhD in finance, never went to a finance class. You know what I'm saying? It's just because I've read so many books and you know, I kind of took that in because they were all like financial literacy books.
Yeah.
And so like I mean, even though I didn't even understand it first, it was more just like this is interesting to me, right? So I'll listen. But I mean, you know, once you start getting even Think and Grow Rich, right? Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I mean, Rich Dad, Poor Dad was one of the first books I ever read cover to cover. Like the
Yeah.
only, really one of the only books I ever read from cover to cover. I mean, because it kind of met me right where I was, right? And so even with, you know, Rich Dad Poor Dad, it was about the habits, right? It was about your habits and your philosophies, being able to understand that and understand the way you want to live. So I mean, man, hey, you hitting it on the head tonight, boy. On the
Hey, boy.
head.
Hey, I appreciate you, man. But hey, man, that's you, man. You was out here spending some dollars. I can't wait till we chop this up, man. See what we got. It's gonna be Kevin. I'm gonna be posting you all over my Instagram. I'm gonna be like, yep, that's it right there.
Hey,
But
dog, I mean, but that's what we doing for each other, though. You know what I mean? I'm
yeah,
a little bit older, but you know, I mean, we pulling each other up. You know what I'm saying? Because you know,
100%.
your boy knows nothing about social media, podcasts, none of that. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying? I'm
bro.
just out here. I'm just out here, bro.
Hey, bro, we're growing in those areas, man. And I'll say this, man. My part and thoughts, bro, is if any of you guys listening, man, if y'all or listening to the recording, if any of you guys have certain topics y'all want to learn about, questions, you could hit any of us up offline, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's Instagram, whatever you need, just let us know and we will bring it, man. We want this to be clear.
LinkedIn,
Right? Yeah,
all that.
LinkedIn, bro. Yeah. You can mail me if you want, man. I don't care. Email, I don't know. But yeah, anything you guys need, like let us know. We want this to be concise, we want it to be nice, we want to be open, honest, and not holding anything back. So whatever you want to learn about, just hit us up and we'll talk about it. But other than that, man, that's all we got for you. Hope you enjoyed episode 2, and we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Peace.
Y'all be good.